What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid's down 3.66%, 1237 the low, 1301 the high. So during the pre-market, it did show some signs that it wanted to recover. Unfortunately, that didn't last too long, largely because of data. And so I'll go over that in a second. But 5.6 million shares being traded. So you're seeing not much institutional transactions. So far, only one on the secondary market. It is a buy though for 899,000. That was done first thing, but clearly that wasn't all that much to really keep it high. So I think one of the biggest things that's been affecting Lucid and just a lot of other speculative stocks has been algorithmic trading. And a lot of that, like I said, kind of has been feeding off of the negativity. So we did have some data first thing. So we had the mortgage applications and mortgage market index. Applications came in at negative 5.2, and then the market index came in at 316. That's not good. And so in theory though, this immediately did cause this to go higher. So this is somewhat negative data, kind of matching with yesterday's negative data. So there's kind of more of a growing trend right there. But we did see the likelihood of a cut for the upcoming December 10th meeting move higher because of this. But regrettably, later in the day, we did have this. So this was going to be the big one for today for data points, and that's FOMC minutes. And unfortunately, we kind of found out that the feds have no idea what the hell that they are doing. So even for the last meeting, which we did get a cut on, it was very, very divided, and technically even more so for the upcoming December meeting. So that did pop the likelihood, unfortunately, of a December cut. So right now there's a 33.5% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So it is fair to assume that's going to be pretty much written off. Aside from that, the big thing in the market is going to be NVIDIA's earnings. And that's going to be coming out, I think, about an hour after the market does close. Market closes in roughly around 3 minutes, give or take. So you just have a benchmark. But today, there really hasn't been that much in news, no SEC filings or anything along those lines. One thing I do want to bring up though, it was posted by Luca. And for those of you that, again, have watched a lot of my channel, you know I kind of call out this guy, 𝗪𝗓𝗪, who is an analyst with Cantor Fitzgerald. He loves to hear himself speak all the time. And it's to the point where I actually don't even open up his reports. It's just useless, just jabber. I think he just wants to be the most up-to-date and most relevant analyst, even though he's largely wrong. But this individual kind of catches on maybe why we are seeing so many re-ratings of himself. And that's because, I guess, the system, or either Cantor Fitzgerald, is using the wrong ticker and is actually using ticker LUCD, not LCID. So kind of crazy stuff. You can kind of even see that right there, LUCD. So in general, that might justify why Cantor Fitzgerald reiterates their rating all the time with Lucid. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Conveniently, I guess just the prices of both stocks are maybe roughly around the same price. So kind of crazy stuff if you think about it. But nonetheless, this kind of does explain the whole Cantor Fitzgerald ratings. So this isn't really a good reason to buy or sell Lucid. It just kind of justifies some of the crappy ratings or crappy analysts, I guess, not the ratings. But nonetheless, aside from that though, you are seeing a lot of bigger accounts as well, really looking at Lucid. So I don't know if this indirectly could be seen as a good value play. So for instance, even this individual, the Electric Viking, who has about 334,000 subscribers, is just kind of crapping all over Lucid. And so in reality, how I interpret this is whenever you see a lot of people crapping on a stock, whether that be hymns on social media or I don't know, any stock, whenever people hate it the most, that seems to be the best value. So I see this, him speaking about Lucid maybe being a good indirect potential buy. And we did bounce off of this kind of general range now twice. So 1234. And so today's low was 1237, same as I believe it was yesterday's. So we do know this general area is a very, very strong support. So I don't know, again, if this is a potential sign that maybe this is the bottom, at least for the temporary, where we could see a nice potential reversal. I think it's all going to come down to NVIDIA's earnings. But nonetheless, I just wanted to kind of bring this up as maybe a indirect inverse type of scenario where it could be value. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there, but you guys already know my stance on Lucid. I think they need to do a lot of improvements, and a lot of that has to do with their management, but still love the product. And that's one thing that as well, I listened to his video and he didn't talk about or crapped on the product at all. It's just stock price, performance, and management. So just wanted to kind of share that with you. So shorts today did increase 197,000 shares, 29.46% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 42.43 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts aren't really doing too much, but then again, popping over here, there's only about 400,000 shares available. So even if they wanted to, there's not really much that they could potentially double down on. So again, just something to keep in mind. Aside from that though, looking at the options, we had 564,000 in calls, 1.6 in puts. And then when it comes down to the net premiums, it did go up by about 98,000. So not too crazy, but 41% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $13 to $14 range. So definitely optimism has been dropping quite a lot recently. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of $12 for the most part. So it's all going to come down to NVIDIA's earnings, as I shared with you. So that'll be an interesting Thursday. And then we also do have, on a side note, Walmart's earnings. So that could give some insight, further insight to, I guess, consumers. Aside from that, these are all the transactions that did occur on the Darkpool. So very quiet stuff, matches with overall just shorts not really doing anything. And like I said, right now with it at 1248, it is trading between this S2 and this S3. So over the next couple of trading days, just watch for 1234 to be that strong support. If it does break below that, then most likely in probably $10 is kind of on the table, which is rather unfortunate. But 1532 and then 1716 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So if there is a recovery because of, let's say, NVIDIA's earnings, and we do also have some big data coming out tomorrow, that could potentially be that next kind of point. So a V-shaped recovery to that 1532. Can't really realistically see it going higher than that unless something crazy does happen. But aside from all of that fun stuff on the actual chart itself, things aren't really looking too great. So anyone kind of saying otherwise is just trying to kind of spin the narrative to a positive, because this chart does not look good. It is essentially a falling knife. Stochastic RSI is very oversold, so that's the only positive thing I do want to bring up. Looking at the market position, you don't see any willing buyers either. A lot of good support, roughly around that 1230 range, as I kind of signaled with you. But still, anyone trying to say that, hey, you know what, this is like an epic reversal where we're going to go to like $25, that's just comical. And interestingly enough, I've seen a lot of people say, hey, you know what, $23 is next. I don't understand how they can fathom like a 2x from here. It just doesn't make sense. Like, something operational needs to happen, and as far as I'm aware, things seem to be kind of going the other way. But I could be wrong. So let me know your general thoughts on that. Aside from that though, there hasn't really been any crazy articles talking about Lucid, so it's just been largely piggybacking off of the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Stacked account. I just put out a Black Friday promotion, and so the first 100 individuals you can join for only $1 a month. So I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to kind of pop over there and check that out. Like I said, the first 100 individuals, right now there is 70. You can get it for $1 a month, Black Friday deal. So link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.